Are you ready?
Yes.
All right, here we go. So today, I thought we'd sit on the floor because it's the middle of summer. It's like having class outside
Is
on
it?
the nice days and
So
the
why don't
spring
we
days.
just go outside?
I don't want to go outside.
Okay. I don't want to be on the floor.
I'll get a sunburn.
I don't want to be on the floor.
It's too late. This is where you fell.
Well,
We had to do this where he fell. He's not getting any younger.
I know I've got one fake hip, and so Eric makes me sit on the floor for Black and White with James and Eric. This is which episode?
7.
7 episodes. Lucky number 7.
We'll see how lucky it is.
Well, let's see how lucky it is for them because they have to listen to the history of the N-word.
I can't reach that to shut it off. So
I'll just get it with my foot.
I don't think they can do that.
I probably can't.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're going to talk about the history of the N-word, where it originated, how it's been used.
Now, wait a minute,
how its use has changed over the years.
And who are we experts on this?
No, but we have Google.
Yeah, we did have Google, didn't
And
we?
Bing.
And Bing. I don't use Bing. I don't like Bing. But yes, we're doing the history of the N-word.
One of the questions you asked me at the beginning of this episode, and we'll let them listen to the episode to hear.
Okay.
But one of the questions was, have I ever used a racial, stereotypical slur toward another person?
Okay. And are we going to wait for them to hear the answer, or are you going to give it to them right now?
Well, if we give it to them right now, there's no point in them listening, is there?
And sometimes I wonder what the point is for them to listen in the first place. But wait, thank you for listening.
Yeah, way to sell it.
We appreciate it.
Way to sell it.
Give a thumbs up, dude. Give a thumbs up. Okay.
2 thumbs up.
Two
How
thumbs
about
up.
that?
2 thumbs up.
So we'll talk about racial and socioeconomic stereotypes.
Did we talk about that in the episode?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
And ethnic jokes.
Right, we did. And
Polish
we did
jokes, Italian
jokes.
Jewish jokes.
You told a couple ethnic jokes.
Yep, the Arab they all come from the Arab-Israeli joke book, the Polish-Italian joke books, volume 1 and 2. And I'm doing this because
Eric has all of these books.
I do.
He
They're
does.
I think his last name is Jaffe that wrote the books, and I believe he used to write for Mad Magazine as well.
And they can find them on Google.
What, the books?
Yeah.
Or they could just listen to the episode as we discuss ethnic jokes.
We can do. They could do that.
We could do that.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about this.
How's everything else? You good?
You know what? It's
Summer wonderful?
I don't know. I had the heat on the other day, dude.
It was chilly.
It was chilly. It was chilly.
But today, it's nice today.
It is nice today. 80 degrees.
Yeah.
Well, last night 40. How about Rob was outside trying to get the cats to come in because it was going to be too cold for them.
How cold does it have to be to get the cat in?
Well, the one cat won't come in until like
it was 50 or something.
40. We digress, but we do that a lot. So it's Black and White with James and Eric. He's the white guy.
I'm the guy that doesn't care about his cats.
He's also the guy that made me sit on the floor with one fake hip and another one scheduled.
Listen, I'm going to help you up.
No, you're not.
For $1.
I don't have $1.
Then I hope you like that spot. Hey, it's James and Eric.
It's Black and White. It's Black and White with James and Eric. We're gonna hit the stop sign now.
Go ahead, you hit it.
Do I go like just boop? Wait.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and push record, and we can begin when you are ready.
This is Black and White with James
And Eric.
and I'm James.
And I'm Eric.
I'm the black guy.
I'm the white guy.
Hey,
But
in elementary school and or junior high or high school, did you ever use a derogatory racial term to refer to anyone else?
when you say to refer to anybody else, do you mean other than you?
Well,
What is that? I don't know. Rephrase the question.
why?
Why did I use the words?
No, well, I don't really think. Have you ever used a racial derogatory term towards me?
Toward you?
Or about me? I didn't have to be in the room.
I don't think so. I don't recall doing that.
Okay.
Not about you.
Anyone else?
Oh, everybody else.
Everybody else. Okay. Well, what kind of
Broads, Jews, Asian. Yeah, no.
You've never said
No. You know what? I have. I'm absolutely certain that I have used those terms.
So okay.
Maybe I can't recall a specific instance right now, but I'm sure I used them in anger.
Okay. Okay.
As well as in the telling of a joke, a stereotyping joke, or a.
I've seen your act.
Yeah, but I don't do racial humor.
No, but don't you have a Polish joke?
No.
No, you don't.
No, a Polish joke.
Well, you remember
what
when-
am I 9? No, I don't
Well,
have a Polish.
actually,
joke.
since you bring up word 9, remember that was
Yes.
we told a lot of Polish
Yes,
jokes.
Polish jokes. There was a time, there were books. Al Jaffe, I believe, wrote several books that you would flip it upside down. It was a paperback. You could flip it upside down,
Right.
and the first half of the book was Italian jokes. And then you flip it over, and the other half of the book is Polish jokes. So
Wanna
it was the
share one of those jokes?
It was the Polish-Italian joke book. There was also the Jew-Arab joke book, and there was the Polish-Italian joke book part 2, and there were I don't know, maybe 6 or 8, 10 in that series.
Okay. And being a comic, you were interested in that kind of stuff.
I wasn't a comic. I was a 7th grader.
And you were reading that stuff?
Well, sure.
Really?
Yeah, they were stupid one-liner jokes, and they were
Give me an
canned.
example.
No, I don't have any off the top of
No,
my head.
besides you don't want to say it anymore. It's politically incorrect.
No, I don't even care about the politically incorrect. If I'm just repeating a joke, it's not politically incorrect. It's telling the story. But I don't even remember. You know, I mean, they would go to you know, a Jewish guy would. How was the Grand Canyon formed?
I don't know how was the Grand Canyon.
A Jew dropped a nickel down a gopher hole.
That's not
No,
funny.
and then the stereotype is he's so cheap that he had to dig and dig and dig until it was the size of the Grand Canyon. That's what I mean. They're stupid jokes. I was 12.
But,
you know.
Okay, all right.
So they were funny or whatever. Actually, I take that. I'll tell you that I had that book, and I still have that book somewhere. But I don't know that I really got the Jewish humor because growing up here, I mean, how many Jewish people did you know?
and the history of why they were made fun of. We didn't know that
No,
at 7
I had
years old.
no
At 7 years old,
concept
we didn't know anything about that.
I mean,
at 7.
were there any Jewish people in our class that we knew, you know, that you would look at them and say, hey, that guy's Jewish, you know, he has to go to the temple on the Sabbath, and, you know.
Now that you mention it,
I can't.
I think we did have a few Jewish people.
A
few Jewish people in our class.
I don't recall any.
We're going to have to break out the yearbook.
Now, see, you see labels.
What do you mean?
Jew.
I said Jewish. I didn't say
okay,
Jew.
Jewish. But you see the I'm just kidding you. You know, you see labels as Jews and blacks.
Well, let me ask you.
I just see people.
And you know what? It's really funny because if you think about it, right?
I'm kidding. I'm just kidding.
Human beings, we separate ourselves.
Yeah.
Based along racial and ethnic lines.
And income and socioeconomic lines and religious and
Now that you bring up social, because we're talking about when you talk about socioeconomic lines, that's class. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Have you ever been called a cracker?
I don't ever recall being called a cracker.
No?
No.
Do you know what the term means?
The cracker is a term that I believe originally the original term was used by slaves to say, like, you know, the master's coming or the
cracker's coming.
The cracker's coming, and it referred to the crack of the whip.
Oh, okay. Close, but no cigar.
I don't smoke cigars.
And you quit smoking cigarettes.
I
too.
quit smoking cigarettes. I don't smoke anything.
All right. Close, but not
okay,
quite.
yeah, what's a cracker?
Okay, and when you go back in the history of linguistics, and this is a video that I've shared on Facebook, you probably didn't see it because I went through your Facebook page, and you post a lot of things that I don't read, and I'm quite sure I post a lot of things that you don't read.
I don't read any of your crap.
Well, you just add your name to my list. Just add your name to my list.
Okay, what's a cracker?
Okay, about the 1600s, cracker originally meant crack brain. Okay? It was a term used by the rich to disparage poor whites. So it had nothing to do with class. It's been racialized over the hundreds of years, okay? And when you said crack whip,
Crack in the whip.
crack in the whip, right?
It was the guy that would whip them if they weren't good. So they would say, "Look out, here comes Cracker."
But how did that guy get the whip?
How did he get the whip?
Sure, that's an interesting story because Bacon's rebellion, when Bacon had his rebellion in American history, it was poor whites and African Americans and indentured servants who rose up against the ruling class. Cracker was a term used by rich white people to disparage poor white people. It's been racialized based upon what you were saying, it has been racialized.
Yes.
Okay, and I was thinking about our, the name of our show, Black and White with James and Eric. We didn't name it Human to Human, or Human to Human, or anything like that. Human beings, even though we are all from the same race, the human race.
Yes.
We like to break ourselves down, and you always tell me I'm always dealing in labels, but these labels were served up to me. Okay, I didn't create the label making society that we live in. I've just probably I'm more susceptible to it than you are.
Okay.
More than likely.
I'll give you that.
Well, because labels have been slapped on me all my life.
Okay.
Okay, so
So you're telling me that the low class whites were referred to as crackers, which is a biscuit.
it meant cracked brain. It meant cracked brain, referring to they weren't so swift, or cracked brain. It had nothing to do with their race.
Hey, listen to this. The term cracker is said to have originated in England before the 16th century, referring to the lower class whose diet primarily consisted of crackers or biscuits.
And you know what? And
many of their descendants were sent to the Georgia penal colony, hence Georgia crackers.
Okay. And what I'm listening to and watching has certain references to that.
Okay.
Now, they also mention the fact, linguistic history is always murky because no one wrote this stuff down. All right. Now, there were some references in there, what you were saying too. Okay. But they did mention it was for the lower class.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
All right. So, Black and White with James and Eric and racism can all be traced back to class warfare. Yes? I say so. I just need you to agree with me so I can win this one.
Okay, you can have it.
Thank you very much. I won one.
One.
6 shows.
Don't get cocky.
Well, you know me.
What's your next one?
I
What's
don't
the
know.
next?
That's the next
do you
show.
do you have another term?
Oh yeah, redneck.
Tell me some other racially charged or racially offensive terms that are used.
Let's get something out in the open.
As derogatory.
Let's get something out in the open. You and I have never used a racial derogatory term in our lives.
You're going to lose that argument.
I'll lose that argument with my cats too.
Yeah. Your cats are the most racist felines.
And they only like me. They don't like the wife. They only like me.
Well, sure, because you feed them.
Exactly. And honestly, that's
And when
the
your
truth.
wife's not there, I know you talk to them cats about her.
No. I talked to the cats about the other cats and about their other bad behavior because the new adopted one has a really bad behavior.
You know what? This is not about cats. Go on.
It's always about cats with me.
Not on my time.
Okay, redneck. Have you ever called...
Are you calling me a redneck?
Well, are you?
I am not.
You're not a redneck?
I am not. A redneck, I think a redneck refers... Now, see, you've looked these up, right? I mean, you know these terms. I don't know. I haven't looked. I haven't researched.
You've heard redneck
No.
before.
I don't mean I haven't heard the term.
Okay.
I'm saying I haven't researched the origin of the term. I would think it's a rural white guy who works out in the field, gets sunburned on his neck, and therefore he's a redneck, which would be a lower class.
Once again, class warfare.
Lower class, what's the word I'm looking for?
Worker?
Itinerant worker.
And this time you would be 100% correct.
Ooh, how exciting.
But you don't win anything.
Oh.
Okay?
Oh,
as long as you accept that. Oh. All right. So, yeah.
Well, that's like losing then.
Yeah, you should be used to that.
Oh, man.
Okay?
Okay.
All right. So,
give me
that's
another
what... Well, don't you want to discuss?
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Discuss redneck.
You just made it like no fun anymore, too.
No, I mean, you're going to beat this into the ground. I think we all understand a redneck is a racial term for a white guy who works the fields and gets sunburned on his neck because he's a low-class, low-income white dude.
Once again,
from back in the day.
From back in the day.
Who lives rural?
Rural.
I think it's specific to rural.
It was specific to rural because farmers.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
It was about the 1800s that one came along. But at the same time, once again, class warfare amongst whites.
Okay.
Gotta keep you in your place. Gotta keep you in your place, you farmhand. Also, it dealt with the fact that these people did not own land.
The itinerant worker. Okay.
Yeah, the itinerant sharecropping was also sharecropping. Believe it or not, whites started out sharecropping
Sure.
first. You know,
I think though that the term has now, well, I guess not. I was going to say evolved, but it's actually devolved.
that's a better word.
To not just be specific to a lower class white itinerant farm worker. I think that term has now taken on a new meaning and has nothing to do with being rural, nothing to do with being an itinerant worker. I think it's all about,
Race.
hey, you're a racist, you redneck.
Right. Sure, it's been racialized.
Yeah.
Even the N word is just Latin for black.
Okay.
But it's been racialized as well.
Well, yeah, it's the in many languages, negro,
Sure.
or negro or it means black.
Exactly.
It's just, I think, French, Spanish.
It is.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
And then the countries in Africa, Nigeria, Niger, there are a couple countries that are
close to the
that are
word.
similar to that. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, and I think that's probably where that came from.
Well,
I'm sure there's more to it than that.
you think?
What knowing that you were up all night researching this, I would guess.
Oh no, dude, not up all night. All I had to do was remember conversations I had in the past or look at something I posted on Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook. That's the thing that'll end all racism.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Just get Mark Zuckerberg a couple billion more dollars and he'll fix it all for us.
You think?
Oh, look how great of a job he's doing right now.
I'm very happy. Yes.
Facebook does nothing but bring people together
To fight. Yes.
and about 1.2 billion of them.
Do you have another racially charged term that
Let me see.
you'd like to see if I know the meaning of?
White trash.
I think that's
Kind of self-explanatory.
yeah. It's white,
Poor.
and maybe unclean or unkempt.
And you've never used this term before.
I have used that term before.
You have.
White trash?
Yeah.
Sure, certainly.
Really?
Sure.
I'm shocked. Did you ever use it in high school?
I don't think so. I don't know that I don't recall the term in my vernacular in that era. So,
Well, dude, white trash actually is. We're going to put white trash in a different category. Okay, white trash. Around the 1850s, let's say, slaves started using it to refer to the whites who were placed in a position. They became the slave hunters. For the rich whites, to stop poor whites from identifying with and aligning themselves with poor African Americans and or slaves, okay, they had to create a new class of people. And so, they became the slave hunters. They became, the whip crackers. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Okay. So it gave them some power, so they felt better now. I'm not, I'm a step above the slave and the man's giving me some authority over him. I don't feel bad today. And I got a whip.
Okay.
And so about the 1850s, the blacks did come up with white trash. So that's not going to be one of the terms that was used by whites to disparage poor whites. That's actually a racial derogatory term.
The term that's come from that, though,
Yeah.
is and the use of that word has also devolved into white people calling each other white trash. The trailer trash, white trash, wigger.
Oh, but we can't say the N word. We can say the W word.
It's W.
It's W?
W.
W.
Don't overdo it.
Don't overdo it.
Your tongue's going to fall out of your
Your
mouth.
tongue's going
You
to
have
fall out of your mouth.
False teeth, maybe? Is that slipping? Is that what that is? You're not getting any younger. No,
I'm 55.
No. Oh my goodness, you're almost dead.
I'm almost as old as you are.
Almost. I'm younger than you.
By what?
I don't know. I'll be 55 in July. When did you turn 55?
I'll be 56 in August.
There you go. I'm 11 months younger than you.
That means
No, 13 months.
That means I have 13 months more knowledge than you do.
Oh, I doubt that.
I do. No, I don't doubt.
No, you wasted time.
Doing what?
I don't know. Wasting it. Talking to cats.
I
Listen,
was-
just to set the record straight, how many cats do you have?
I have 4.
You're like a cat lady, except, without the boobs.
And a lot of other lady
Well, I'm
parts
just saying.
too.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just saying. Well, I don't know
you
about
said-
that. You can use any bathroom you want now. After the Supreme Court gets involved. Okay. Do you have another racially charged derogatory term for me to?
No, those were the 3 I wanted to talk about.
That's it.
Well, there's a lot more, but so we only have one. We only have enough time for one show.
I'm curious.
Yeah.
It's interesting to me that you chose 3 white
Right.
terms, no black ones.
No, next show, another show.
Oh, you're going to bring on black ones next show?
Not probably the next show, but eventually we'll talk about the derogatory black term. Sure. I wanted to talk about I wanted to know if you had any personal experience in, growing up. Remember I told you the story a couple of shows back about how the teacher used
Yes.
the N-word with me
Yes.
after the Muhammad Ali fight where he beat Jerry Corbett.
I recall.
Okay, so that's our frame of reference. And I've been listening to the shows, re-listening to them,
Our shows, you mean? These,
Yes.
These podcasts.
because
Yes.
it's just, there's full of so much knowledge in them.
And BS. Yes.
And I have to go through them and make sure I haven't said anything that needs to be edited out.
Yeah. See, I don't care.
You don't say anything that
Well,
needs to
that's
be
because-
edited out.
I'm not an idiot.
Okay. You're trying to say I am?
It's not a racial thing.
It's not.
No.
Idiot's not a racist term?
No, anybody can be an idiot.
Anybody, you know what? And I have a lot of experience with that.
Gooks, mix, Jews, everybody can be.
Hey, and now that you bring that
Those,
up,
and by the way,
What?
that's just a reference to the Archie Bunker episode I watched the other night of All in the Family.
oh, so we don't want
Yeah.
people to like
No.
call it in
No.
the show and say, Eric's a racist.
I get enough of that as it is.
Now, I'm going to admit something.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I am. I'm a racist, Eric.
You're a racist.
I am a racist.
Okay.
I hate everyone equally.
Well, that's not a racist.
It's not?
No.
What's that?
That's a hater.
It's
No, a racist is specific to a race. You would hate just whites or just Asians.
I do
or just
hate.
blacks.
I hate. There is a specific race I hate.
The human race.
Yep. Because
No, that's not true.
Yeah, because the human race wants to label itself based on ethnicity, race, and nationality, and not accept the human race as one.
Can I just say that you're out of your mind?
Why?
Why? You're not. That doesn't make you a racist.
It doesn't?
No, it makes you antisocial and perhaps psychopathic. At the least, you're sociopathic.
Uh-huh.
But you have your cats.
Yeah, I got that.
You nutbag.
Yeah. So, point being,
Yes.
My point being, the reason I was listening to all this stuff, right? And this started when I was a very young age. I mean, very young, like elementary school. And I think it had to do with the fact that, in the mornings when I woke up, think about it. My dad was black, my mom was black, all my brothers and sisters were black, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we call it color switching. Actually, it's a psychological term called color switching. So you wake up in what is a black world or a black culture in a black neighborhood. And then when the school bus pulls up, you have to instantly switch to what is socially acceptable norms. And
Because you're leaving the black world and entering a white world, you mean?
correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Didn't know, I knew I did it when I was younger, but then later on, I heard the term color switching, and you know me, when I, get obsessed about something, then I just dive in, feet first, and, try to learn as much as I can about it. So I was totally fascinated with color switching when I first heard the term in the late 80s when I was living in Southern California. Okay.
Okay.
All right. And then, reference back to some of the things that, we talked about. Teacher, using the N-word in elementary school. Always wondered if my friends from high school, junior high, had to deal with the same issues, or I always knew the answer to that question. Okay. I did know some individuals who lived in the trailer parks in Howland. You owned a trailer park at one point, didn't you?
I had some rental property, yes, that were mobile homes, yes.
Okay.
I no longer own them.
Okay. All right.
I owned them for with a partner in some real estate investment.
Okay.
We had a dozen. I think there were a dozen there, and I had them for, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years.
Okay. So, and then, there's the one term that we left out, trailer park trash.
Right.
Okay.
I referenced that in white trash, but yeah.
Oh, you did? Okay.
I did.
I'm glad you did. See, that's why I re-listen to these shows.
Because you don't pay
sometimes.
attention to me when I'm talking.
No, Eric, I really don't.
I know.
Okay.
You're thinking about your cats.
I'm thinking actually what I'm going to say next, because you're better at this than me. You're an say that word for me.
Improviser?
No, improvisationist, or whatever that.
Well, okay. I don't know if improvisation. I have to look that up if it's to see if that form of the word. I like.
Well, what's the comedic
improvisation?
Yeah, that's the word.
There's a famous chain of comedy clubs called the Improv.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. And so,
improvisation is just make it up as you go along.
kind of like what you've been doing.
That's exactly what I've been doing.
Okay.
You like to research things. I like to research things too, but I don't have that much time.
Oh, quit whining.
I'm not whining.
You are.
I'm not whining. I'm stating a fact. I'm decent at improvisation.
Okay.
I enjoy the off the cuff discussion.
Uh-huh.
In what I do for a living, it's all improv. Whether it's
selling carpet?
whether it's because I don't know what the customer is going to say, and I
That's
have
true.
to have an answer for that.
And you do?
I have to go
Immediately.
I have to go in the direction that the customer takes us.
Okay.
So yes. Then in my other job where I'm on stage, I talk to the audience. What do you do for a living? I have no idea what they're going to say.
Right.
So I have to have an answer for that.
Right.
Snap quick. And what's your name? What do you do? Come up here and let's do this. And sometimes people say things
Hey, you know
and they
what?
just take off on a tangent sometimes people are real shy and they don't say anything. Sometimes you can't get them to shut up. So I have to be ready for that. That's all about the improv. So that's why when I said to you, I really don't want to deeply research this stuff. I'll look over an article or read something or whatever, but I would rather just improvise.
Well,
and you can have come with notes or whatever.
Eric,
what?
I want to thank you for that detailed answer about a topic we're not discussing in detail.
You asked me. Jim.
I did, but thank you.
Are you going to edit this out?
No.
Because I'm going to start calling you names.
Well,
I'm going to look up some good ones too.
okay, that's the next show. Okay,
all right.
so save that. That's the next show. So
All right,
you can
I'll
look
save
at
that.
you can look at that. You can
Tell
look
me,
at those.
tell me where the term "colored" came from.
Oh, color.
Do you know?
You know what? I would rather. That is probably the least. Now let's stop and think about it. In my lifetime, African Americans have been called Negro, colored, black, and African American. I'm 55 years old.
Oh, they've been called a lot more than that.
Oh, those are only the words we can say on the show, buddy. Okay.
No, I know what you mean. Socially, that's what
Socially,
they're called. Yeah.
right. Colored
That group is referred
and
to as.
colored is the least favorite. I hate that.
See, and that's
term.
interesting to me because the NAACP the word "colored"
Right.
is in that, and even though that's 3 or 4 generations ago,
Exactly.
that has not changed.
Probably won't. Because NAACP, you gotta remember, it was started by African Americans and some old Jewish white women.
Okay.
All right. So colored was the term picked because they wanted to represent everyone.
What is the? Well, colored does describe everyone.
Let's get the definition of colored first before we continue.
I think it just refers to skin color.
It does.
Yeah.
Okay. But aren't you a color?
It's interesting you say that because when I was a kid, my grandfather, who worked in a steel mill, did not and just loved everybody and was loved by everybody. I don't recall him ever being derogatory toward anyone. He said, this is 1966, 7, 8. He said, the colored fellow down at work,
Okay.
meaning, and I've also heard him say the Catholic guy or
Sure.
whatever, the Puerto Rican guy or whatever he was. He wasn't saying it to be derogatory toward him. He was just explaining to me it was that guy.
Exactly.
Because if he called him Joe, I wouldn't have known who he was talking about.
But he would have just been Joe. Why can't
Right.
he? Why can't he just
I don't
be
know.
Joe?
You're not going to fix that now. But,
No.
But my grandfather said, I remember this distinctly. We were sitting at the picnic table in his backyard, and he said, the colored guy in the story. And I interrupted him. And I said, Grandpa, what are we, clear? And he just looked at me.
Were you trying to be funny?
I don't know if I was trying to be funny
Or you just
I
didn't
was just
understand?
no, I understood. I might have just been trying to put him in his place.
How old were you?
Young. I was 10 maybe. But if I
So you understood at 10 that you are a color.
I regret that I did that to my grandfather because he was the greatest influence in my life.
But you
but it was a moment of rebellion or whatever that he was using a term that I was not trained to use.
Correct.
They were black. They were not colored.
Exactly.
He was old school,
Right.
but I never heard him use the N-word.
You said something very interesting. Trained to use.
Sure.
Okay, so we both can agree that racism is a learned trait, not something that you're born with.
Oh, absolutely. Babies don't come out hating. They have to learn how to hate.
Okay, we can agree with that. All right. So
And it's up to us to teach them who to hate.
me and you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's why we're doing this show, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So they can hate.
So they can know who to hate.
So just do what I do and hate everybody?
No, you don't hate everybody. You
I
think
don't.
you do.
I
But
no, I don't think I do. It's easier to say that rather than
the truth?
The truth is I don't hate anyone based on race, religion, ethnicity, and maybe national origin. I don't know. Maybe national origin. I don't know. Possibly.
Okay.
Probably. You know, that's just a historical context of flags fighting each other on the battlefield. Okay? And, you know, things of that nature.
Okay.
All right? I know it's not right, but, you know, you like your flag, so you defend it, right?
You're bringing up a whole new topic.
Yeah, we
No.
can't do it. We're not allowed to do that, are we? You already changed the subject once, so I guess I thought maybe I could.
Only answered your questions.
Okay, so just answer my questions. All right, so we're going to go back to the fact that babies don't come out. I want to go back to your grandfather because I think his reaction to what you said falls into that category out of the mouths of babes.
Well, I don't know I don't recall what he said or how he reacted.
I think that moment between you and your grandfather stayed with him for the rest of his life.
I doubt it.
No?
No.
You don't
Because
think so?
No, because it wasn't that big of a deal.
What?
It was a moment when I played up some rebellion.
Okay.
But it was that's all it was.
Okay.
And
So-
I don't think it was that big a deal to him.
So let me ask you this.
Oh, ask me anything.
Okay, so you're at a, let's say you're at a, I don't know, family gathering, Christmas party,
Yeah.
or whatever.
Well, wait, if it's a family gathering
Yeah.
or a Christmas party. Okay, go ahead.
Some social.
Yeah.
event. Okay. And you're talking to someone about me.
Yes.
Do you say James Walker, the African American I went to high school with?
No,
You just say James Walker.
I do.
Okay.
Because most of my family knows you.
Okay, so that's why I said let's make it a Christmas party and another social event.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought you meant a family.
Okay, let's
Christmas.
just make it anything. Okay, the people don't know me.
Okay.
All right, so you're in a gathering, people don't know me, my name comes up.
In what context does your name come up?
Well, obviously not black and white with James and Eric, they'll know something's up. Okay, let's just say in conversation,
Yeah. Somebody says James Walker.
someone references anyone of color that you know.
Okay.
When you're referring to that person, do you feel a need to identify that person by their ethnicity?
I don't know. I honestly, I don't know. Maybe.
Why is that?
Because you're the black guy.
On the show, I'm the black guy.
In real life, you're the black guy. What do you think? You just play a black guy on this podcast? You are really. Have you looked in the mirror? Look here. Look here. See this
What?
mirror? I'm holding this mirror up.
I
Not
see
only
the
can you
mirror.
fog it up, but when you wipe away the fog,
It's still a black guy looking at
it's
me.
a colored man. Yeah.
I know.
All right.
Okay. So, point being, when when whites are talking about their African American and or associates or friends of color.
Yeah, or coworkers or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, whether it be
You know what? I think you're right. I think I might say that I went to the football game the other night. I went to the high school football game the other night with James Walker. He's my friend from high school. That's how I would say that.
okay, but you don't reference.
I don't think so.
Okay, but others do, like your grandfather did.
Yeah, but
Joe couldn't. No.
But it wasn't a derogatory.
No,
thing.
it's never
Right.
derogatory.
Okay.
We're not talking. It
Okay.
is derogatory. Okay, so
I'm defending my grandfather.
Of course
I know,
you would. What? Oh, come on.
Okay.
You good grandson. You
I
could
know.
have. Okay, so let's only using the fact that that conversation is a part of the recording. Why couldn't Joe just be Joe? Why does Joe have to be the black guy?
Because we are specific to. I might say Joe, the guy that works in accounting, or Joe that I graduated with, or Joe that drives the blue
Right.
car.
And Joe worked at the mill with your grandfather, right?
Yeah,
Joe had a job.
he did.
Why can't we reference Joe's job?
I don't know.
And therein lies.
I'll tell you, when I was a kid, I would watch The Wide World of Sports.
Loved it.
on Saturday mornings.
Remember that stupid ski jump guy?
That was the agony of defeat.
Yes, it
Yeah.
was.
There are many times they would say, Washington in the black trunks during a boxing match. They would say Washington is wearing the black trunks, and Esperanza is wearing the red trunks.
Yeah, they
and
didn't-
I would say, why don't they just say the black guy and the Mexican? Because now I have to look at their pants, I got to look at who's doing what, and I got to watch who's punching. Just tell me the black guy. There's nothing wrong with that. And this was in the 60s and 70s.
But Wide World of Sports was way ahead of its time in trying to break down those barriers of identifying people solely based on
non-race things.
right.
Yeah.
And think about it. They learned a lot when Ali was a champion.
Oh, yeah, because he never brought up race.
Never. Think about it. Some of the best conversations on race this country could ever listen to is Ali and Cosell.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
They were entertaining. They didn't fix anything.
Are we fixing anything?
I would like to think.
Really?
Sure.
Are we that naive?
Well, I'm keeping you off the street for an hour a week.
For an hour a week, you can't get in any mischief, right?
That's right. That's
All
right.
right, the cops don't have to worry about pulling me over for driving while black.
And if they do want to find you,
They
they know where you
they
are
do
1
know
hour
where-
every week.
Every week, usually on Friday between 3.
No, don't be real specific.
Don't tell them.
No, don't be real specific. This is pre-recorded in an undisclosed location
All
in the
right.
middle of nowhere.
But we do sell we do sell carpet out of it.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Okay. All righty.
So
then.
that's it. You did research and you found 3 derogatory racial terms to describe white people.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Because it's black and white. with
Is there
James
another
and Aaron.
one? Is there another white? What? Let me ask you this:
Mm-hmm.
When a bunch of black guys gather, what do they say about white people?
I use the N word to reference white people.
What?
Yeah.
Do your cats look at you funny when you do that?
No, the white people do.
Now, do you end the sentence with GER
Yes.
or GA
GER.
when you're referencing white people?
Yes. It's my favorite derogatory term.
Excuse me.
What?
You know you're using it wrong, right? And I only know that because
Why?
I listen to rap music sometimes.
Really?
A little tiny bit.
You don't listen to Eminem?
I eat M&Ms. Plain or peanut, I have no preference.
Well, trust me, he's a peanut. Okay. All right.
Hey, was that a derogatory term?
Peanut?
It's referencing Georgia roots for the white redneck guy?
He's from Detroit.
Yes, he is. 8 Mile.
8 Mile Road. Okay. All righty then. So
But,
yeah.
but it's funny to me that when I said rap, you went to a white guy.
No, you.
No,
went
you
to-
said, I said I listen to rap, and you said Eminem. You rap. The first rap guy you thought of was a white guy.
I'm
What
talking
is
to.
wrong?
I'm talking to a white guy.
You ain't talking to a white rapper.
I'm not even talking to a white guy that likes rap.
You are disparaging your culture.
No,
There are plenty.
Eminem is disparaging my
Your culture, but you're letting him do it. This is crazy. There are plenty of talented black rappers.
No,
you referenced a white one. That's
let's
funny.
get back to the. Let's get
Yeah,
back.
you
to
want to get off that subject real quick, don't you?
No, let's get back to the look.
So
of
you're
white-
at the barber shop,
Right.
you're at the bar, you're at a restaurant, you're at a club, you're at a thing, you're at a family reunion, whatever, and it's just 5, 10, 20 black people in the room.
Right.
You're talking about white people.
Right.
The only word you use to describe those white people is the N-word?
No. Oh my gosh, no.
What other terms?
I have to be careful. You remember my wife is white.
Oh, so is mine. Holy smokes, what are the odds of that?
Oh my gosh, that's something we have in common other than Howland.
Oh, man.
So yeah, if we're hanging around and we're talking about,
Stuff.
stuff,
And you reference the white guy down at work or the white guy at the thing at the mall or whatever.
I will usually, we're coming up with a derogatory term, correct?
Well, yeah, because you don't like what that white driver did.
Would you believe me if I told you I would, first of all, go towards his lack of intelligence first rather than his skin tone? And that's probably my first,
Okay.
that's probably the first derogatory thing I would say about anyone is just like, because at 55 years old, dude, I'm fed up with stupid.
Okay. But this is not a show about intelligence. This is a show
Okay.
about race.
Well, I'm just telling you that.
Let's get to the race part.
Sure. Well, the first thing coming out of my mouth is never going to be race.
No, it's you stupid. What?
Am I talking
You
to
stupid
my?
gentleman?
No. Well, am I talking to my drug dealing neighbors?
I don't know.
If it was my drug dealing neighbors, it's you stupid N-words. Actually,
but are they white or black?
they're white.
Okay.
Actually, the law enforcement officers who live next door to me.
You bet you're gonna have to edit this out. You remember this.
No,
Be careful
this
what you're
part-
saying.
I've already said this on Facebook. I've referred to them as the N-word.
And again,
Yes.
they're white.
Yes.
Okay.
With me, it's action.
Good.
Okay, it's their action, what they're doing
So
at
you
the
don't
time.
you don't have a term that you use to describe white people other than a term that's used to describe black people. Is that what you're telling me?
What I've done is I've taken the word, even though the NAACP held a funeral for the N-word and they buried it.
Yeah, I remember.
I kind of like those like black rappers like Ice Cube and Tupac and NWA who've taken that N-word and now monetized it. So what they're doing is they're taking the word and they're repurposing it. Okay.
Okay.
And along the mid 80s, early 90s, the word was repurposed by up and coming rappers. So now you hear it in rap songs all the time. Okay. Literally standing in a line at Family Dollar.
Yep.
I heard this term used, turned around, lo and behold, it's a white kid
Yeah.
using it in public.
Right.
Okay.
It's just a one of the words in the lyric.
Right. It's just one of the words in the lyrics. And now because rappers use it and now white rappers are using it,
Sure.
everyone feels like they can use it whenever they want to. The word does not, I wish this wasn't a PG show because the word does not offend me. You know why it doesn't offend me?
Why?
Because that ain't what I am. That is not what I am. So the word does not offend me.
Are you saying that the people who are offended by the use of the N-word are offended because they are?
No.
Okay.
Historical context.
Okay.
It's been used to degrade and degenerate African Americans for hundreds and hundreds of years.
Yes.
To remind you of your slave heritage.
Right.
And to kind of, tell you you're less than me
Right.
because because you have more pigmentation in your skin.
Right.
Which I know
Hey, can I ask you a question?
all these things are not true.
Black History Month was this past February.
No,
like
Black
it,
History-
like it is every year.
Yeah, okay.
I remember as a kid
Right?
at a Methodist church camp where I went for a week every summer.
We all went
that
to
we had-
Sunday school.
That we had a counselor. They were always college students that worked there in the summer.
Okay.
And it would most likely it was Hiram University just southeast of Cleveland there because
They have a
Methodist-
divinity school there.
that Methodist church camp is in Hiram.
Yeah,
So
okay.
so this guy was black, This would have been 1971.
And you did.
And if you could swim to the third dock, there were three, and there was a great big lake there, and there were three sections. You know, a one where it wasn't over your head, one where it was a little bit harder, and one where it was all over your head. And you had to swim and meet a requirement, whatever, to be able to be allowed to go out to the third dock.
Okay.
Well, all the cool kids and the older kids were out at the third dock. So, of course, that's where everybody wanted to go. So I took my test. I passed my swim test. I went out there. The black counselor was out there. And I remember all the kids are white. All the other counselors were white.
Okay.
He may have been the only black guy there that summer.
Oh, we had a fly in the buttermilk.
Shoe fly shoe. That's how that goes. That's how the rest of that song goes.
It is.
It just took me a moment.
It
It's been a long time since we sat around the fire singing minstrels. Okay. So, gonna go get my black face on there. So,
Oh my goodness.
I remember
going
everyone asking him if they could touch his hair and commenting
What year?
on 70, 71.
Yeah,
the kids
that happened a lot.
Yeah, but the kids were all 10, whatever.
It happened
11.
a lot.
Okay, but the water, it was what because he swam out there. When he came up out of the water onto the dock,
The afro shrinks.
the hair was all beating up,
Sure.
bubble, like little bubble, little
Yeah.
droplet, and it was just interesting. It was different it was a different thing than our own bodies did. His body was different. So I remember people asking to touch his hair, and that probably was the first time I had ever touched. Specifically touched to feel, to learn and understand, and he was real cool about it and talked about it. It was an interesting exchange that was non-threatening at a time when there were riots all over the place. If I turned the news on, if I walked through the living room while the news was
all you had
on,
to do was ask me to touch my hair in high school. I'd have let you do it.
this was after. That was long after this. I didn't know you.
In high school?
No, I was 10.
Oh yeah, okay.
When you listen to this show, listen to this part.
Okay, well you said you were 10?
When I said I was 10 or
Okay.
9.
All right. Well, we did meet in Little League at 10, but we weren't really.
Yeah, but you had a hat on. I couldn't see your hair.
You didn't see that big puffy afro out the sides?
Why was it called an afro?
That's another show.
I'm just saying.
Usually you are. And it ends
They
up-
were Afro-Americans.
Oh, I forgot. Oh my God! I
African-Americans.
forgot Afro-Americans.
Right.
Oh,
I
hated that. You had an afro.
I did have an afro, and let me tell you something. I'm not ashamed of that fro.
So you were an Afro-American.
My hair was. I will post a photograph
Of your fro.
of my fro.
We
I
both
will
had.
put that
We
on
had.
there. Yours
we-
was bigger,
mine-
but mine was awfully close. And you had them big old long sideburns.
mutton chops.
Those
I had
big old
mutton chops. I
yeah.
had mutton
Yeah.
chops.
You
Yeah.
you were looking like Lamont from Sanford and Son.
That exactly was the look I was going for.
Well, it worked.
Did it?
I was going for Gilligan
Trust me. Hey, when you were talking about touching hair,
or somebody from
believe
the
it
Brady
or not,
Bunch.
you know how many girls walked up to me in high school and junior high and asked me if they could touch my afro?
You were the only black person they knew.
No, Richard was there.
Okay, there were
Jack
three,
was there?
Yes, there were 3 or 4 or 5 or whatever. We didn't come in
And then
contact.
the Guilford brothers were there periodically. Then they left.
I don't remember.
Joe, remember Joe and Joe Guilford and Tony Guilford?
Joe and Tony
Yeah.
Guilford.
Yeah.
No,
You know?
in high school,
More like junior high.
I don't recall.
By high school, they were gone. By high school, they had left. And because their dad and my dad have been friends for, oh my gosh, my entire life.
In my office,
What's in your office?
in my office, I have yearbooks,
Oh, what do we have here?
and this one is from 1975, 1976.
What grade were we in?
We would have been.
Did I sign that?
I don't know. I'll have to look for that.
This will be a real test to see how much you really liked me if you asked me to sign your yearbook. I don't think you did.
I had all the white people sign it first, and then there was no room.
What, you made them sign it in black? You made them sign it. Oh my, who is that?
Or
Dan
Orr.
Oh my, we have a picture of Dan Orr. What grade? 8th grade, 7th grade.
Oh, I think that's 8th grade.
No, wait, look,
think
there's
that-
an African American.
That's not an African American.
Who is that?
I think he was a custodian. I don't recall his.
With a really good tan.
They're black and white pictures.
Oh, okay, so this is black and white. Oh, here we go. You
Stop
missed.
grabbing.
Oh, it
You're
is.
gonna rip stuff.
Who's
That
that?
is
Who is that?
Denise Robinson.
Denise Robinson.
But listen, that was a grade behind us.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm trying to get up to.
Well, then Carla would be in there. My sister Carla would be in there too.
I'm trying to get up. Who is what was their name? Gil what?
Guilford. Gilford.
Guilford.
Now, they grew up in the same neighborhood I did.
Gil.
And believe it, to this day, their dad still works on my cars.
We got Gillespie's. We got Gilmore.
Yeah, probably left by that time. They probably went to.
Look at this whole page.
I think they were in a reserve at that time.
There's-
No. They moved to Cleveland. They moved to Cleveland with their mother.
Erlene and Shirlene Griffin.
Oh yes,
Forgot, but they moved. They moved before we graduated.
They moved before we graduated. Erlene and Shirlene Griffin. I do remember them. Yes. What is that newspaper there?
I think it's a thing from.
If you give it to me, I won't talk about it.
Oh, that's. I don't care if you talk about it. That's the International Tea at Howland Glen Elementary School, and that's me right there. But that's an article from the newspaper.
Are you wearing knickers?
Yes, you dressed as in costume from your country,
What country did you wear knickers in?
Switzerland.
You're not from Switzerland.
No, I'm not. But my report had to be on the country of Switzerland. You know, we studied things as white people. We studied other cultures, not just our own. There is no
Okay.
White History Month.
No, I wish there was not a Black History Month either. You know when black?
You know what? You're not alone in that. I had a lot of white friends that wish there wasn't a Black History Month.
You know when Black History is? It's January 1st through December 31st. It's called American History.
Oh, I don't think so.
That sounded racist.
Everything sounds racist to you. You know,
Because race matters. What are we going to... Never mind. Who is this? Who is that?
Richard Seawood.
Richard
I
Seawood.
always liked him.
I just saw him a couple months ago.
Where, is he in town still?
He lives here now. He's back. Richard Seawood. I bumped into him at 20 Federal Place, downtown Youngstown.
Youngstown, yeah.
Yeah. He works for one of those organizations that helps coordinate.
Oh, he's a community organizer.
No, he works for. I think.
Yeah, you're going to need to start using full sentences.
I know. Who does he work for?
I don't. It doesn't.
It
matter.
doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
I saw
but
Richard
he's back
Seawood.
in the area.
I saw Richard Seawood.
I mean, see, there are a number of Seawoods. I met a couple guys named Seawood when I was umpiring maybe
Richard
10 years ago.
Seawood. I just ran into him not a couple months ago.
That's interesting. But can I tell you something else that's interesting?
What is that?
You're not in here.
Why not? 8th grade?
8th grade. Our yearbook stops at Tom Siska.
They didn't do.
I'm not in here either. It's like there's pages missing.
Who ripped them out?
No one. Look, they're not ripped out.
Hold on. I think you can't read.
That's it. You're right. I have no idea what the alphabet is.
Okay, so you're saying we're not in there?
All right, let's try this. This would be from
76
our
to 70.
last year in junior high, which was 9th grade.
I have to. It stops at Tom Siska.
Oh, what's this? Okay. Oh, I found a walker.
Which one?
Jim.
Don't know
Hey,
him.
Cheryl Watkins.
Cheryl Watkins. What about Cheryl Watkins?
Jim Walker, Cheryl Watkins.
Oh, Cheryl Watkins.
Forgot about her. See, there were more black people there than you thought that we came up
She
with.
didn't graduate with us, though.
No, she must have moved away or something before then.
I know.
So, anyways, that's what you get. So a bunch of people are listening to us look at yearbooks.
I know. And is that odd or what?
No, it's pretty funny. It's pretty funny indeed. Listen,
Mike Conklin?
I think
Mike Conklin was behind us, though. He's Tina's class. Yeah.
okay. I think I've had enough
Enough of
for
what?
today of this black and white thing
Why?
because people are listening to us look at pictures. That's got to be boring. I'm
Well-
bored watching you look at pictures.
I'm James,
I'm Eric.
and this is Black and White with James and Eric. I'm going to look at pictures now,
All right.
all right? Because I haven't seen this thing in 40 years.
See who you see, man.
Oh, Do you know where the stop button's at?
I do.
Then hit
Should
it.
I shut it off now?
Oh, well, you do. I want to swear.
Oh, go ahead, swear.
You told me I'm not allowed to.
Damn right.
Me likes.
Support for this program and the following message come from Satoli Carpet and Floor Covering. Serving the Mahoning Valley residents for more than half a century, Satoli Carpet and Floor Covering has a long and high-profile record of doing what is best in the interest of the community. Remember that when your home or office is considering new carpet and flooring, think Satoli Carpet and Floor Covering in downtown Warren. Check them out at satolicarpet.com. This program is also sponsored by Funny Farm Comedy Productions. The Funny Farm has been providing hilarious comedy shows in Northeast Ohio and Western Pennsylvania for more than 30 years. Please check them out at funnyfarmcomedyclub.com for upcoming shows, and thank you for continuing to support live comedy performance.
I would have preferred if you faded.